2, 1.
Let's podcast.
Welcome to episode 7 of the Ear Swap Podcast, the podcast where we swap ears for a week.
Yeah, we listen to some stuff and we paint our faces.
Yeah, so welcome to the Halloween Special, where Chayne and I this week decided to recommend some Halloween soundtracks.
Horror movie soundtracks.
Horror movie, not Halloween the movie. We debated that one. We talked about
That's
it.
That's the same song over and over and over.
The same three
bits. It's a good song, but it's only like 3 notes the whole time.
Yeah, John Carpenter did a great job.
I love John Carpenter.
It's, less is more on that one.
Yes.
But we kind of delved into some other ones. If you've seen the last episode, you've seen us pick these. So if you're listening along, we're going to start with The Crow, original motion picture soundtrack.
I am the Crow.
Oh, yeah. I should mention the paint, what I am. I am the tall man from It Follows.
Yeah. We did each other's makeup, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We did each other's makeup. So.
I love some behind-the-scenes pictures for you guys.
Yeah, that's my job on The Crow makeup. Let me know.
I smudged it. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I had to touch my face.
He did. But, I did that. I looked at a picture, and I was shaky, and we got real intimate.
Yeah, we were really close to each other.
We were. And then...
I'm used to having this table between us.
We're used to the social distance amount. But then Chayne did mine. And I'll put pictures right now of the Crow. He looks just like Brandon Lee. And then I look like...
Brandon Lee.
Yeah, he is Brandon Lee. And then I am the tall man. But I was saying earlier, I thought you looked more like the Crow with, what's his nuts? I think it's Crow 2 or Crow 3, but he does it with the Sharpie in the movie. That's why I kind of joked about that. It's the kid from Terminator 2, Judgment Day. What's that guy's name?
I'm finding out. Is it probably not Vincent Perez?
No.
That's the second one.
It's probably the third one.
Crow
or fourth
Salvation,
one.
Wicked Prayer. See what Salvation looks like.
There's really Edward Furlong. He plays the Crow.
Oh, that might be the fourth one.
The Crow, Wicked Prayer.
Tara Reid is in that.
Yeah, it's horrible. All the sequels are really bad.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess he's got the white paint.
He's got the white paint. Danny Trejo is in that.
Of course, he probably plays Machete. I wouldn't doubt he plays that character in every fucking movie he's in. Dennis Hopper.
They made a lot of these movies.
Yeah, and the only good one is the first one. They're making a remake.
They've been talking about making a remake
for a long time.
Really long time.
Which, relevant to episode 5, Nick Cave was writing the screenplay for.
Interesting.
I think he's not doing that anymore, but they've talked like Jason Momoa was going to play him or something like that. I don't know who it is now. I thought they confirmed somebody, but I can't remember who it was.
That's a terrible pick for...
I don't think it's Jason Momoa. New movie, actor. Yeah. Oh, Bill Skarsgård is going to play.
Iggy Pop is in the second one.
Iggy Pop is in the second? That seems...
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård's supposed to be playing Eric Draven, which makes sense.
I mean, he plays
Pennywise.
Everybody now. Yeah.
Yeah, he played Pennywise, so I guess that's like...
He was in Barbarian. Which
he was
fucking sick.
We talked about that in the last episode 4. I still haven't seen Barbarian. We talked about it.
Barbarian. It's very good.
All right, that's Barbarian good. Okay, so let's talk about the Crow original motion picture score. So,
yes,
this is my pick for Chayne. The Crow is a wonderful movie.
Yeah, I had never seen it before.
First time.
So I listened to the soundtrack, then I watched the movie, and then I listened to the soundtrack again.
Okay.
And yeah, good movie.
Great movie.
It shouldn't be a good movie, but it is.
What makes you say that?
In some ways, it's not. It's very cheesy, but in a way that works, I think. It's also it's a superhero movie. I'd consider it more of a superhero movie than a horror movie, personally. But good pick for this. It's very Halloween-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but some of the acting's pretty bad. The set is amazing. Like
it's
all the
cool.
shots of like Detroit, it looks like Batman Begins. Batman Begins ripped off The Crow, I think.
Oh yeah, and for a superhero movie in the not early 90s.
Yeah, one of the first ones that I.
Yeah, like one of the first ones that actually kind of did it some justice. Also, I would like to correct myself. I said the original motion picture score. I meant soundtrack.
Original motion
soundtrack. That's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you always see that like mom who was like really into it in the 90s. I think. Yeah, they have the shirt that says "It can't rain all the time." You know.
Yeah,
I love that shit
for sure.
Calling out my mom, she's got one of those
shirts.
Got one of those.
Yeah, that sounds about right. One of our biggest fans, too.
One of our biggest fans.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
I don't think my mom's listened to the show yet. So
Really?
She might.
I
don't know. They're not very good with technology.
That's okay. I understand.
So, yeah, this soundtrack is the most 1994 thing I've ever heard in my life. I was talking to Caitlin about this. I was like, this is Anthony Soprano Jr.'s favorite movie soundtrack. I guarantee it.
I wish I've seen The Sopranos so I could get that. Sopranos fans, you get it. Was he a 90s guy?
Well, that's more like 2000s, but he definitely is very much into like this kind of music. Yeah.
Okay. So what was it like for you to listen to the soundtrack then watch the movie?
It was exactly what I expected.
Okay.
Yeah. So the soundtrack, I mean, I knew some of the bands on it, so that wasn't like a big surprise. But then going into the movie, the thing that stood out the most was a lot of these songs are hardly in the movie. They're in for maybe like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like my favorite song on this record would be Ghost Rider by Rollins Band, simply for what it is.
Right.
And I have no idea where that was in the movie. I have no clue. A lot of it was just like on like somebody's car radio or something. Like so. Yeah. It's I was like listening for it too, and I was like, I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah. I think it was mainly like because I always remember hearing like the 9 Inch Nails song, Dead Souls. I always remember hearing that, so that's where it always hit me.
And Burned by The Cure. There's like the title, which is a great song.
Yeah.
That's for just the song wise, that's my favorite song. But since Rollins Band's covered Ghost Rider, I love that. That's just that's great.
I fucking wiped off more makeup. Yeah, no, it's really cool.
We're gonna have this smeared all over.
I know it's gonna be all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
But Ghost Rider's cool. I mean, that's a great song by the band Suicide.
Yes.
Song way ahead of its fucking time. It's so amazing. That
whole record is incredible. Yeah.
And they got so much shit for
other people have
like
covered that and done way more justice than we have. The No Dogs in Space, which is one of the guys from Last Podcast on the Left.
Oh, yeah.
It's like his music podcast him and his wife do.
Yeah.
Did a whole like 5-parter or something on suicide, and it's incredible.
Wow.
It's very, very well researched. So
that's great.
I don't want to compete with that.
Yeah. So we'll link that one. We'll shout them out. That's cool. Rollins Band is so fucking 90s.
So much.
Much.
So well, okay. I was trying to look up "Liar" by Rollins Band on Spotify. It's not on there.
Really?
No, I had to go to YouTube to get it. I think he's like embarrassed of it.
He's like, I'm not fucking with that shit.
Yeah.
Hold on. I wonder why. So none of the Rollins Band is on Spotify?
No, Rollins Band is on Spotify. Just not that song. Not the song "Liar."
They're on Spotify in America, but not their entire catalog.
There's only two albums.
Well, that's a shame.
Who knows? And their top played song is Ghost Rider. On here. Yeah. So
it's a cool take on it.
It is a cool take on it. Very 90s. Very 1994.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of just like industrial sounding like rock music, and then we got some new metal. And then we got some just real weird shit. There's actually 2 bands that play in the movie. There is was it Medicine? I think Medicine played earlier in the movie, and then My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult played later.
Yeah.
And let's just say one of those was a lot better than the other one, I thought. Which one do you think I liked more?
My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult.
No, I thought the song fucking sucked. Like, I hated that song. I hated it when I listened to it, and then when it started playing on the show, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing with this.
Yeah.
Which that's one of the coolest scenes in the movie where he just murders a room full of people.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but that song sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song's terrible.
I love how of the era it is. It's got Helmet, Pantera, Violent Femmes, Rage Against the Machine, 9 Inch Nails, Stone Temple Pilots, which, not a huge Stone Temple Pilots guy, but I think Big Empty's a really good song.
It was a pretty good song. I don't know anything about Stone Temple Pilots, honestly.
They're like considered the grunge vein, which they've never been my favorite, but Big Empty's a really good song. I like that one.
Machines of Loving Grace was a band I'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
I think that song fits really well though.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they did great is like stylistically for like how the movie looks and feels, the music matches perfectly.
Yes.
Whoever chose it did an excellent job.
Yes.
Some of it should probably stay in the 90s.
Yeah.
But some good stuff. And there's a few covers on here, right?
Yeah, a lot of them are covers.
Is Dead Souls a cover?
Joy Division. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a Joy Division. Oh, of course that's a Joy Division cover.
Yeah.
And then The Badge by Pantera.
And then
is by
Poison Idea.
Poison Idea, that's it.
And then Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider,
Suicide.
Yeah.
And then, the one that always stuck out was the 9 Inch. Like, 9 Inch Nails is like the perfect. They could have done a whole soundtrack of fucking 9 Inch Nails for this record. Or for
don't
this
listen
movie.
to 9 Inch Nails. Like, I've heard them in passing.
Yeah.
Fits perfectly in this. And honestly, like, pretty good song.
It's a good song.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like high school Chayne would be upset with me saying that. But, yeah. So, I was reading some stuff about this, and it actually New Order, which is later
Joy Division afterwards. Yeah.
I mean, a little different, but
yeah.
They were approached to do a song on the soundtrack.
I didn't know that.
And they weren't able to. They wanted to do a New Order cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart, which
Oh.
would have been really cool. Talking about because they cited parallels between Eric's resurrection and New Order's formation after the suicide of Ian Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
They were busy recording or something, so they had another project, so they weren't able to do it. But yeah, apparently
Really cool.
some of the characters in the original comic book were named after Hook and Albrecht.
Oh,
Like he took their names because he was like a huge Joy Division fan.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Which the story behind The Crow? Do you know that about the author?
No, I've never.
Oh,
heard
it's
that.
tragic. Like he wrote the book because he was like engaged. And he was like about to get married, and then his fiance was killed by a drunk driver.
Oh,
And so the whole book was just him writing like to his grief throughout.
Yeah.
And then it took off, and then they made a movie, and then Brandon Lee died.
Yeah,
in
Brandon
the making
Lee
movie,
died.
and he was.
It's
Dude
tragic.
has had it rough. Like every time he's had success or anything starts going, it just somebody dies.
That's a really massive fear of mine.
Yeah.
Is like getting success and then like just tragic. Like anytime something good happens to me, I'm like, fuck. I'm just waiting for the fucking shitstorm every time. It's so crazy. Okay, so did you know? So Brandon Lee passed away in this movie.
Yes.
Have you ever heard the crazy parallels between him and his dad's passing?
No.
So Bruce Lee.
So I know a little bit about each one. I don't know how they connect.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's like this whole thing in Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee's death where they're like all these numbers line up and like all this crazy. Here, let me find a good area.
So those who don't know, Brandon Lee was he died during the making of this movie when there's a prop gun incident where they had like a dummy round in, and then the bullet got stuck in the gun, and then they put a blank in behind it, and it shot the bullet out, and it killed him. The actor who was shooting him in that scene, what was his name?
He was what's the character's name in the movie?
Michael Massey. He plays Fun Boy.
Fun Boy.
Which originally they wanted Iggy Pop to play Fun Boy.
That would make sense.
Which would be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Messed that guy up. He for over a year he didn't act. Yeah, he felt horrible, which I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean I can't, because that's just like accidental and
yeah.
I mean, holy shit! That's why gun safety is important on a movie set.
It is. Yeah. Well, I think the guy that was in charge of the prop guns had gone home for the day or something, and they decided to keep shooting, and which most of the movie was done, and they finished up the rest with the stunt double.
Correct.
And used CG and I think prosthetics to make him look. And honestly,
you can't even tell.
You can't tell. They did an incredible job with that. Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
I really
mean,
did.
It's one of my favorite Halloween movies. I probably watch it every year. I love the tone of it. I love the way that they set the city, the way that they make that environment such a hostile
they used
thing.
miniatures, and when they're flying through the city and stuff, it It's got a very distinct feel.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've never been to Detroit. Is that what that's like?
No.
Wait, did we both pick movies
we
set in
did.
Detroit?
I was
what
just
the hell?
realized that. We both picked movies that were set in Detroit.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
The scariest city in
I guess,
America.
yeah. But yeah, like Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee both died pretty young. So Brandon Lee died in 1993. Bruce Lee died in 1973, so exactly 20 years apart. Bruce died, 20 years previously. So Bruce Lee's last film, Game of Death, his character receives a gunshot wound during the filming of a movie within a movie. The tragic coincidences go further, just as Brandon Lee died before the release of The Crow from the same thing as what happens in the movie Game of Death, which is Bruce Lee's last actual appearance.
Interesting.
It's pretty wild. And it sucks because Brandon Lee was like getting off as like an actor and like really showing up, and then he passed away, and then they made a bunch of shitty sequels after that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was like his career was like about to jump because this movie did really well.
Oh yeah.
Although I think it partially did really well because of his death.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why it's so well remembered is because that's what happened. But I thought it was a legit movie.
Yeah.
Aside from that.
Yeah, I think it's a legit movie. I've always grown up watching The Crow. I think my brother was The Crow for Halloween one year.
I see. You look this good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you look better.
Did you do his makeup?
No, I think my mom did.
Yeah, she'd probably do a better job.
I thought I did pretty
good. You did
right?
good. I'm sorry. Did you notice that the cop in the movie, sometimes he had a fake mustache, sometimes he didn't?
I never noticed that.
I'm pretty sure because I was like, his mustache looks a little weird, and Caitlin was like, yeah. And then it got to a later scene, and I was like, his mustache looks real now. So I don't know. Don't know what's going on with that.
That is weird.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, throughout the movie, the soundtrack is used very sparingly. So like, obviously you have The Cure as like the title theme, I guess, at the beginning. Then you have like a song just like playing in somebody's car. I don't remember what song that is.
Right.
And then another one playing in the background of a bar in a short scene. 9 Inch Nails song, it isn't really in it very long.
It's in like a transition.
Yeah, it's a transition song.
Yeah.
Then Medicine was playing at the bar, which that was pretty good. I like that song. What's the name of that song? Medicine's
Time Baby 3.
Time Baby 3, which I don't know anything about that band. I've never heard of Medicine.
I've never
before.
really jammed to that band either.
That's the top lead song. Is the one from
that
The Crow.
one.
I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, the only bands I like really listen, like Rage Against the Machine, 9 Inch Nails, Stone Temple Pilots. But I like the Violent Femmes song, Color Me Once. I like that one. I thought it was pretty cool.
The Violent Femmes, that was the song that I felt like kind of didn't fit on the record.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I thought it fit in the movie, and I thought it was good, but like it doesn't really have the same vibe to me as the rest of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rage Against the Machine song was played in the background at a hot dog stand scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, does that sound right?
The hot dog stand scene?
That's funny. I don't like that band.
Really?
I don't like Rage Against the Machine.
I didn't know
I don't
this
like nu
about you.
metal. Yeah. Haven't we had this fight before?
Whoa. Hold on.
Yeah.
You consider Rage Against the Machine nu metal.
How is that not nu metal?
That is not nu metal.
Listen to it. He's rapping and they're playing like
that is not nu metal.
Industrial. How is that not nu metal, man?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna ask Google, is Rage Against the Machine the top one is communist, but they go to the next one, nu metal.
Let's get a nu metal definition over here.
Had a large influence on the nu metal genre, which came to prominence during the late 90s. So Rage was like the inspiration that everybody had
rap
for nu
rock
metal.
then.
It says they're top rap metal, but
Rap
I would not
metal.
consider that.
How is that not rap metal? That's the most rap metal fucking shit I've ever seen.
I wouldn't consider it nu metal. Hold on, let me look
Okay.
Okay, nu metal definition. I'm looking this up. I'm going to defend the fuck out of this. See,
Dude,
okay.
they're on the nu metal page like a bunch.
Okay, hold on.
Let me see. Rage. They're mentioned 6 times on the nu metal Wikipedia page.
I've never considered that band nu metal.
They're rapping and there's like shitty metal in the background.
Whoa, hold up. Shitty metal?
It's terrible.
Dude, Rage is so good.
No, I hate that. They're just like, you gotta get and you're going in a genocide. That's the whole thing.
Oh, man.
I don't like that band, man. I told you before this, I was like, I can't wait to fight over this song.
Dude, I will say, okay, it's not their best song they've ever had. I will give it that. But that band rips. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me.
Yeah.
Have you? I can't even get my fucking thoughts together right now. I'm baffled. I've never met anybody that's like, yeah, I don't like Rage and System of a Down.
Yeah, I hate System of a Down.
Oh God. Okay. I wish Talon was here.
Oh, Talon has the worst takes I've ever heard. So. What's up, Talon? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get shit in our group chat later for this. I know already.
Absolutely, because...
Yeah. I'm just going to turn off the notifications.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Okay, so you don't like Rage because it's like rap metal?
Yeah, I don't like rap metal.
Well, okay, so... Okay. But they're like the band that started it, I feel like, right?
I still don't like it. I've never liked it. Yeah.
Have you ever listened to an album in full?
No. And I know now you're going to make me do it.
There might be something coming up, at some point.
I've got a few stashed away that's like, oh, when you pull this out, I'm going to hit you with something else.
You're fucking locked and loaded.
I've got a few, and I'm like, oh, yeah, when he pulls that Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm going to make him listen to something he's not going to like. So.
It's going to be a battle up in here. I just...
Uh-huh. To be fair, like, okay, let me look at their similar artists on Spotify.
Okay.
Audio Slave, not my thing.
What?
Yeah, I haven't really listened to them. A Perfect Circle, fucking hate A Perfect Circle.
Whoa.
I'm not big into Tool. Primus is kind of weird, but I kind of respect them.
Primus is good. Tool I've gotten like back into.
311, fucking hate 311.
I can't even name a 311
Mudvayne.
Oh. We basically look like Mudvayne in this one.
I do look like Mudvayne. I don't know if I can be talking shit on new metal with this. It's basically Juggalo face paint.
We're basically new metal.
We're pretty much Juggalos.
Yeah.
In this one. Oh, you know a 311 song.
What is it?
Amber.
Here, do you want me to play it?
Yeah, play it, and we'll just
And I'll just sing it.
Mm-hmm.
What place is it?
Oh,
sorry,
that's very loud.
Okay, 311. Oh, is this the one song that everybody wants them to play at Riverfest?
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
Oh, I know this. Wow. How many views does this have on YouTube? Doesn't even show me the views. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That snare is horrible.
Yeah.
That's not even real, dude.
Tiniest.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like they put a snare over like a kettle drum.
It does.
Yeah.
Like, kind of sounds like a Deftones snare.
Mm-hmm. But
like way worse. Deftones, I feel like it makes sense. Okay. All right. Fucking you don't like Rage. I guess. I fucking guess. That's going to be an episode at some point.
That's going to have to be.
Hold on. I'm putting in my fucking notes right now. I'm going to type this so aggressively. I don't even think you fucking understand right now.
Yeah.
God damn it. You know what? While I'm fucking here, I'm gonna fucking throw System of a Down in there. You little fucker.
Oh, this is going to become a very aggressive podcast. I can't wait.
Okay, fucking throw that goddamn.
I
can't even type. I'm so pissed.
I'm scared. This is going to be a violent episode.
Okay. Let's talk about the movie. Let's get off topic of Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it came to listening to the soundtrack before you went into watching the movie,
yes,
did you find yourself like really, really listening to the music this time? Like, say, if you weren't to have listened to it beforehand, like, were you trying to find
like
the
when
songs?
I'm watching the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find the songs, and it was hard because, like I said, I couldn't even find Ghost Rider in the movie. Like, I don't know where it was. But yeah, I was picking up where they were putting them in, and like the themes that they were talking about in the points, which there weren't many songs that really hit on what like the movie was about.
Right.
Like even like The Badge by Pantera, it's pretty cool that they did that cover, but
I don't like Pantera.
I'm not huge on Pantera.
That's my take. I think Pantera's not very good. I'm not going to say so.
I'd rather listen to Pantera than Rage, but scared him off. But anyway, I thought it was weird that song was in there when all the cops are like pretty like decent dudes. Except for that. I guess there's a bad cop, but he doesn't really do anything the whole time.
They just eat donuts and coffee.
They just eat donuts. Well, and one of the main characters is a cop.
And listen to Rage Against the Machine.
But yeah, Ghost Rider being in there was cool, obviously, because it's a comic book character that influenced the song. And this is a comic book movie.
Right.
Yeah. Helmet, I don't even remember when that was in there, the Helmet song. I haven't listened to Helmet like ever, really.
They have that song Unsung. That's what I know. Which was a Guitar Hero 1 bonus track. Or Guitar Hero 2.
I know. Do you know the band Evergreen Terrace?
No.
That's where I first heard about Helmet. Because somebody wrote a review of one of their albums, and in it they wrote, the guitar player's last name is Chayne. And they're like, yeah, Chayne can't quite riff like Helmet's Page Hamilton. And they're not even like the same genre or anything. And so they named one of their songs that. And
that's
pretty
great.
Cool. We might do one of those. That's one of those bands from like the mid-2000s that I was like, oh, yeah. I was real into when I was in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know Helmet more. And I know Page Hamilton has like played guitar on different albums that I've listened to before. So I know his stuff, but... And it's fine. Like I said, it fits the time. It's like, I got nothing against it.
Yeah.
I thought the band For Love Not Lisa, Slip Slide Melting. That was, how did I write that? I wrote something probably really offensive about it.
My heart's racing from your Panteras.
I knew you were going to get so mad.
Dude, my heart is beating so fast right now.
For Love Not Lisa sounds like every forgettable band from that decade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that song was like the very just like of the time. Doesn't do anything for me.
They put it through in like AI.
Yeah. Yeah, and AI wrote that song. Yeah. My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult I could do without. I thought they were just, cool that they're doing something completely different. I don't think it worked, but.
Yeah.
Jesus and the Mary Chain, it's not a band I'm familiar with. I know you know them? No? Oh, I thought you mentioned them. The song was fine.
I feel like I've always talked to people who listen to them or I see their fucking name all the time, and I've never given it a listen.
For sure, this Snake Driver's fine. Like, there's nothing too wrong. And the song "It Can't Rain All the Time" by Jane Siberry. I don't really know who that is, but I'm assuming that was written for the movie because that's a line in the movie, or is the line taken from the song?
Let's find out. I
should have done my research.
It's okay. The part of the experience is we're doing the research while we're on camera, right?
I think it came from this album, so I think it was written for the movie.
Yeah, I think it's.
And it was pretty good. It was a good credit track.
Can't rain all the time.
Can't rain all the
time. That's the line.
That is the one.
Because it can't rain all the time.
In that Pantera song, I was like, oh, that's cool. They added like clips from Taxi Driver in there for and I go back and listen to the original. I'm like, oh, the original also has the same clips from Taxi Driver.
Oh wow, they took
so they even use the same sound clips.
Wow. And they were still the same not good band.
Pantera. I just don't really care about Pantera, if I'm being honest. But yeah, what I got out of this overall is The Cure rips. I should probably give Nine Inch Nails a chance.
Okay.
Because honestly, I like that song. Henry Rollins took himself very seriously in the 90s.
Yeah, he did. And seems like it anyways.
It's kind of funny, but also Suicide's amazing.
Yeah. And
just outside of the movie, I don't know if I would have liked this very much, but with the movie in mind, the soundtrack is perfect. It's exactly what it should be.
So do you think that the movie helped you when it came to understanding that like you said some of the song that didn't fit on the soundtrack, but when I watched the movie you're like, oh
the Violent Femmes, and that's because I think the Violent Femmes is a better band than a lot of these artists, and that might just be I just wouldn't even put them in the same category so much. But I thought whoever did the music direction for the movie killed it. It fit perfectly.
Cool.
And this is definitely a movie I'm going to watch again. So, yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you're going to watch it again. Just probably not listen to the soundtrack again.
I'll listen to that Cure song a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so ranking-wise, how would you rank this out of hot dogs?
We're doing hot dogs again?
Well, we did sausage last time, technically.
Hot dogs this time.
We can do hot dogs or by...
I think this album is. So I'm gonna lump it all together with like movie, album, how everything works, all of that stuff. I'm gonna give it 4.5 razor blades and candy bars out of 5. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. I'm glad you like the movie.
It just like fits it. It's just exactly what it should be. Mm-hmm. So I might have my own opinions about certain songs and certain genres, but
that you do.
Yeah, that I do.
That you fucking do.
I've hated nu metal since I was 14 years old.
You don't like Korn?
I hate Korn.
Why do you think you don't like it?
I don't know. I just think it's just grating to me. Like I hear it and I'm just like...
It's very mid-range.
Okay, it sounds to me like the vocals sound like the 14-year-old Reddit atheist who got like way too into their hyper-liberal social studies teacher. Yeah. Like, you understand? Like, that's what I see when I hear the vocals.
That's a good analogy. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give you that argument. See, but I okay. So I consider nu metal more like Korn and like anything past like late 90s to like mid 2000s.
Okay.
So like Mudvayne, Korn.
So it was pre nu metal in a way.
I think Rage and System of a Down are like pre nu metal. I know System of a Down has been lumped into nu metal category, but I've never considered them that because mainly it's the vocals and System of a Down and the like guitar playing and stuff. Same with Rage. I think Rage is a totally different thing. But and I love Audioslave, which is Rage with Chris Cornell instead of Zach De La Rocha.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
That is what Audioslave is.
Okay,
and that'll probably come. Okay,
they were heavily influential for nu metal. I'll give them that.
Okay, so they're the reason for nu metal. So I guess you can hate them for that. I guess I'll give you that. Okay. Do you have any other thoughts on The Crow there, my friend?
We better stop.
We're going to get in a fucking fist fight in this makeup. Okay, let's go to fucking It Follows.
Shit follows.
Shit follows.
Right. It follows. So you had not seen this movie, right?
Never.
Okay, because I remember when I asked you about it, you were like, I don't think so.
It's just a very like generic movie name for like a horror movie. But
sure.
But it's catchy.
It's also a Minor Threat song.
That's right.
It follows.
It follows. A good song. So why did you recommend this one to me?
Well, I don't know. I wanted you to watch the movie. It was part of it.
Okay.
But also, I thought the soundtrack was different than a lot of things, especially when you consider when this one came out.
2014.
Yeah. Nobody was doing this stuff at the time. And I thought it was almost like a modern take on some Carpenter stuff, I thought.
Yeah.
And then it was just a soundtrack that I remember like thinking about within the movie.
Yeah.
So, what were your thoughts on it?
Well, literally my first note is inspiration from John Carpenter.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I put on there. Yeah. Like, so I listened to the soundtrack, like we both did, and then I watched the movie. I did it back to back, like I did it instant,
right next to each other.
So right next to each other. So I listened to the soundtrack on my surround sound instead of in my car. So I sat down and listened to it, and I was just kind of like going through it all. I have some old school notes here.
Ooh.
So
be sure to rattle those papers in the microphone so that the listeners get a good experience. There we go.
ASMR swap. So yeah. There was a lot of cool synth stuff. Yeah, like the song title, the second song, I put Halloween theme inspiration because it's got that kind of like little eerie, wonky, organy, synthy thing. Jay, that song, the third song, it reminded me of Legends of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Totally. Which Disasterpeace, who did this record, started off doing video game soundtracks.
That makes sense. Wow, I was just picking up on all that, huh?
Yeah.
Old Maid was really cool because it had this really crazy build up and then it just like completely falls down. I thought that was a cool thing. What are that? Oh, Company. There's like a lot of really good build up, quiet parts. There's like a lot of tension and release on this soundtrack. And
okay, I don't think he started doing video game soundtracks. He got well known doing video games.
Well known. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so I thought it was cool how there was a lot of build-up release, which is how horror movies are. There's a lot of like quiet build-up, big thing, and then release. And I thought that was cool. A lot of great synthesizer work on this one. A lot of weird instrumentation, which is very fitting for a horror movie. If people go for that dissonance, there was a ton of dissonance.
A bunch of dissonance, a bunch of like staticky moments.
Yeah.
Also another reason why I picked this one is like the tension building that it does.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
Which is what the whole movie is just like there's always something coming for you. So, that's why I picked it.
I thought it was a really cool soundtrack to just listen to, and I thought it was really fun. I've never listened to a soundtrack then watched the movie, having never seen the movie.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to listen to it and be like, have no context.
Did you know anything about the movie?
No, I knew nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Zero. I knew zero. So I listened to it, and then when I was watching the movie, it really enhanced the movie for me. Because to me, the movie wouldn't have been as good without the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack holds up a lot of this movie for me.
Okay.
Personally, I think it's a good movie. It's it's like it's a horror movie, like trope. There's something that's fun. Maybe it's because we just seen Smile, and it was like you said. It was like, oh, that's like It Follows, because it was
like It Follows, but worse.
Yeah.
So, I like this movie, and I would say it's more the feeling that it gives me. I don't think it's much of a logical movie or anything like that. But just it really made you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When, like, you're being followed, you're being watched, like something's coming. Like, and I feel like that tension stayed like the whole movie for me. So,
yeah, and like nobody else can see it.
Okay.
There's gonna be so much.
I've got grease paint all over myself.
I think also like the like nobody else can see it, so you fucking like going crazy, which is how like Smile was kind of in the same exact same vein. It felt like, but this one you have to have sex with people in order to give this to somebody. It's the worst STD you've ever had.
Sure. Just sticking on the movie for a little bit, like I think that worked in the favor because what decade did this movie take place in?
Looked like I didn't even think about that the whole time I watched it.
It's very ambiguous.
It is.
So the cars are like
kind
70s,
of older.
80s.
Yeah.
They go to the movie theater, somebody's playing an organ, but then like one of them has like a weird like flipped shell thing that she's reading a book on. Yeah. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it seemed futuristic, but
it's like that, but it's also like this weird like transition state the whole time. Like a lot of them, I think they're all like getting out of high school, going college age, like early. So like, and that mixed with like the sexual element of it, like just these weird feelings and weird like changes in your life, and like I think it hit on a lot of that stuff too to make you feel. It just takes you back to a place where you're like, oh.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to be doing? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Like real sense of purpose and stuff. It was really ambiguous. I didn't even think about that. It seemed futuristic to me because of like the shell book thing, but then like all the cars were old as fuck, and you never really knew what was what. But
and the movies they watch it from like the 50s.
Yeah,
it's all over the place.
That's neat.
I was talking to our friend Monica about this movie today because we both really like it, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of like the best Goosebumps movie ever made, because it's like the younger people are in it. The parents doesn't even show the parents' faces, except for that one dude's mom. That's a scene. But usually don't have any like parental involvement. Either maybe neglectfully so, but I don't know, that feeling of like basically a kid like on their own against this thing. Like,
having to handle that.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I kind of picked up pretty, I don't know. I think it's because I've watched a lot of movies with you, and a lot of horror movies in particular. You can kind of pick up on like what's gonna happen. Like I was trying to guess the whole time, like, is she gonna bang Paul or Greg? Who's it gonna be? You know?
Both.
And it ends up there you go. Which the ending's great.
Yeah,
it's real subtle.
The only ending it could be. It's like, well, we just live with this now.
Yeah.
And like, it was almost the Graduate ending, which I actually haven't seen that movie, but I know the ending so well, where they like run away together, and they're in the car, and they're happy, and then they just like stop smiling, and then it cuts. And it's
man.
It's like, yeah, you guys are like stuck together now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good overall movie. I'd say I like the soundtrack more than the movie. Okay. Is kind of my take on that. I think the soundtrack was like really like I said, it elevated that movie experience for me so much. Sure. I think it's cool.
That's true for most horror movies in a lot of ways. Like,
yeah. The soundtrack makes a horror movie, I think. Like that's music is so important.
I've seen a few movies that like use very minimal soundtrack and it's like perfect for it.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes it's the lack of a soundtrack that
for sure.
Helps. But
yeah.
I also want to say this came out before like Stranger Things and things like that.
Yeah.
So where that's really what popularized the synth wave like chiptune-y stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think Survive or one of the guys from Survive did that soundtrack, which I really like their stuff too. But nobody was really doing this in 2014.
Right. I thought the movie came out in like 2019 until I looked it up and I was like, whoa, 2014.
Which is, I think, part of why it really stood out when it came out. Like, yeah. It just had a very different feel than everything else.
Mm-hmm. It did. And it's a perfectly orchestrated soundtrack to go with the movie. And I love soundtracks in horror movies. I think they're some of the best because they're so experimental. Because you just have the freedom to be way experimental with that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like Halloween, those are like crazy soundtrack. Look at you have makeup all over your fucking hand.
I'm a mess. Yeah.
But I think Halloween, like that's what I love. But like we said, it's only 3 things, but everybody knows that fucking theme. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that soundtrack and how well it's used in those movies. And this one is definitely, as first thing, I was like, John Carpenter as fuck, but like a modern take of it, which is cool, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought it was cool. I liked the plot overall was good. I liked it.
If you describe what the movie's about, it sounds stupid.
Oh, for sure.
But I think it works a lot better than it sounds.
Yeah. It wasn't like super scary necessarily. It wasn't like, oh, like I'm freaking out or having trouble sleeping or anything. But it was a good little like psychological bucket. Like you never know what's going to be fucking around the corner or whatever, you know.
The first time I watched it alone, just at night by myself, and I got a little creeped out.
Really?
For some reason, the feel of this movie creeps me out more so. Like movies don't scare me ever. Like the only time I can think of a movie scaring me was I was very sick and I decided to watch 30 Days of Night. Do you know that one, the vampire movie?
I've never seen that.
It's good. I think it's good. I think it's underrated. But I fell asleep watching it and I had a really high fever and my lips were dry and they cracked and I woke up with blood all over my mouth.
Oh my God.
And waking up in a feverish state with blood all over my mouth watching a vampire movie, I was just like, I just ate my family. Oh God, I just ate my family. And that was scary.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like The Exorcist creeped me out. Also,
Exorcist is fucking scary. Great soundtrack. I watched that one for the first time last year.
I mean, you've seen you've watched some movies with me that's like, oh yeah, I should be scared of this, and I'm just like, I'm not. I wish I was.
Yeah, I've definitely watched some good old fashioned fucked up movies with you. What is that? What is that movie called again that I seen the first time I met you?
Oh, that was called The Golden Glove.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's about a German serial killer. There's a lot of penis and probably real-time strangulation, like how long it would actually take.
Yeah.
Pretty, it's fucked up.
And that was the first time I met Chayne.
Yeah.
And look at us now.
You weren't supposed to be there.
I wasn't. I was not supposed to be there, but I was there in a gaming chair.
Yep.
Dead quiet. Watching this horrid movie in a room full of people.
Where, like, I think 3 people in that room were like, yeah, this movie's great. And then, like, everybody else was not into it. It was funny. But
I don't know if I have an opinion on it still. That was like almost, that was 2 years ago?
At least.
3 years ago? 2 years ago? Yeah, that movie was wild. And then, we watched a bunch of other lovely movies. We watched Martyrs recently.
Antichrist.
Yeah. The only movie I've looked away from.
Yeah.
Holds that title for me.
I think Martyrs holds up. I think that's a legit
Martyrs
movie.
Is good.
Yeah.
That's a good horror movie. So what is your favorite horror movie of all time?
Maybe The Thing. John Carpenter. The Thing.
Fuck.
I love that movie.
So good.
I also like 28 Days Later a lot.
28 Days Later rips. That's a good one. That's a good take on.
I almost picked that soundtrack for you, but I didn't because I went through and listened to it and I was like, this is going to be hard to do an episode on. But
that's a good movie though. Yeah. The Thing is fucking great.
That movie is awesome.
God, that's definitely one of my favorites
that
too.
So good.
I love Halloween. Halloween's still probably my John Carpenter.
I actually hadn't seen any of those classic slashers until like fairly recently.
Yeah.
I think I saw Halloween for the first time in like 2017.
Wow, no kidding. I definitely grew up watching all those and all the shitty ones too. The one have you seen Friday the 13th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you seen all of them?
I've seen the first 3 for sure. I think the first 4.
Have you seen Jason X?
I saw Jason X before I saw any of them, which is not the way to watch those movies. No. I watched that with Connor, which we should. Do you have that picture of Connor dressed as a hot dog?
I do. I'll put it right there.
Pop up Connor as a hot dog.
Connor's a hot dog.
I watched that with him on VHS.
Oh, that's rad.
VHS tape that like barely worked. And that was like the first movie I watched with that guy.
Wow. That movie's bad.
That movie's terrible. It's so bad.
So bad. Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one's great.
First one's good.
Third one, Dream Warrior, is not bad.
Second one, not very good. Third one's really good.
For some reason. Really weird.
Hellraiser's good.
I've never seen Hellraiser.
They just made a remake, and I don't want to watch it. Yeah, the first Hellraiser rips.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm gonna rank it follows.
Okay.
With razor blades and chocolate. Movie experience and...
All crammed together.
I give it a 4 out of 5. Mm-hmm. 4 out of 5. The soundtrack really did it for me. I actually want to like listen to soundtracks before I watch movies now.
Before you watch the movies, interesting.
I think it's a really cool way to watch a movie.
Was the movie like when you were listening to the soundtrack? Did you think that's what the movie was going to be like, or were you picking? Were you like figuring out like a narrative in your own head?
I could tell it was going to be a lot of like dark, tension-y kind of scenes based off of the soundtrack because there's so much like that low rumble, like staticky frequency that's in a lot of these songs that just it's so subtle, and especially in like a movie theater where you don't know it's there, but it's there, and then you're like, why the fuck am I so uncomfortable?
Yeah.
There's so much little stuff like that. Yeah, and I could tell it was going to be a movie to which I was going to be like really just like uneasy in that, like you said, like it has that kind of tension the whole time, and the soundtrack does a good job at that.
Yeah, it's not a jump scare movie. It's definitely a tension builder.
Yeah,
which I prefer normally. So
I like that. I thought the ending was good too. I wasn't upset with the ending at all.
For some reason, swimming pools in horror movies, it does something for me. I don't know.
Swimming pools are scary at night, though. I think everybody's had like the sharks in the water, and you freak out and you jump out of the pool.
Well, there's Let the Right One In has a swimming pool scene. Have you ever seen that one?
Mm-mm.
That's like what country is that one from? Which they're also making a remake of that, which is insane. Because they made an American version called Let Me In. It was no good. Let the Right One In was made in which country? Sweden. Swedish romantic horror film. But there's a very good like swimming pool scene in that. And then do you remember the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode called Dead Man's Float?
No, I've never seen Are You Afraid of the Dark.
Okay, I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid, but I've gone back and watched that episode.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's very scary. It's like a swimming pool thing, and it's like I cannot believe they made that for kids. It's like disturbing.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Swimming pools.
I mean, I grew up. My mom worked at the YMCA for a long time, so I grew up around swimming pool.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's probably why it does that. But any movie that has like a swimming pool horror scene, I don't know, it creeps me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other swimming pool horror scenes.
I'm gonna Google swimming pool horror.
What about here?
Okay, there's one that takes place in a pool called 12 Feet Deep. I think that's the one where people get the cover of the pool gets put over the top of them and they get stuck in there.
Oh,
I never saw that one.
That's claustrophobic, isn't it?
There's just one called Swimming Pool, The Pool.
Strangers Pray at Night.
I haven't seen any of the Strangers movies.
Neither have I. That scene in
Cat People has a scene. That's a 1942 like classic horror movie.
What about Boogie Nights with John C. Reilly and Mark Wahlberg jumping into a pool together. That's terrifying.
The scariest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, Dirk Diggler's jumping into a pool.
I still have nightmares about that penis.
Dude, yeah. It's massive. Come on. Feel it.
It's a good movie.
That's a fucking great. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Boogie Nights. Baby.
All right.
Okay.
Should we wrap this up? Because we're like
Let's
just
wrap it up.
talking about movies.
We are just talking about movies. This is ear swap, not eye swap.
Eye swap. That's coming later.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll see how it goes. Cool. Okay. So let's fucking do next episode. Episode 8. First week in November.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no theme on this one. Halloween's going to be over.
Yes.
We're going into Christmas. I'm November 1st. Christmas music on.
I hate that.
And you know a Christmas album's coming, right?
Christmas music should be like the week of Christmas. That's it.
Absolutely not. I thoroughly don't believe that, and you were wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, episode 8. That one's too. Let's do one. Let's do this for the next episode. Okay. One that we cannot believe we have not listened to yet.
Okay.
Do you want me to throw mine at you?
Yeah, you do that while I look up all those that I texted you. That one time.
So the one I'm going to throw at you is Spiderland by Slint.
Ooh, I have listened to a little bit of that, but not the whole thing.
I could not believe you. I
started listening to
record.
And I was like digging it, and I was like, "Wait, Joaquin's gonna pick this for the show." So I stopped listening to it.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh gosh, we should have talked about this beforehand because I'm not ready.
You know what? I fucking just throwing it at you. This is for your fucking Rage Against the Machine comment earlier. I'm gonna just fucking throw it on you.
Yep. Damn, I don't know if I can even find this list.
Did you text? You just texted it to me.
Yeah, I meant to screenshot it, and I did.
Well,
okay. Oh, okay. This is a good one. So you don't listen to New Order that much, right? You know of them. Okay.
Know of them.
I'm gonna go with Power, Corruption, and Lies by New Order.
Okay.
We talked about that in the episode. Good transition.
It's a good connector. Slint, we have absolutely no connection to that.
That's
well,
fine.
I mentioned kind of post-punk stuff, but I mentioned Slint. I fucking cannot believe you have not heard that record.
I've heard some of it.
I know you've heard a little bit, but okay. That'll be a fucking...
I'm
excited for that one.
I was also thinking Mission of Burma.
Oh, right.
I'm more familiar with Power, Corruption, and Lies.
Yeah. So. Okay. That's fucking good.
That'll be good. All
right. Well, we did the Halloween special.
We look ridiculous.
And we're juggalos now.
Covered in grease paint or whatever the heck this is.
This is a Juggalo podcast from now on. We're going to be...
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. You got your Diet Fuego root beer?
Oh, is that how that's pronounced?
I think it's Fuego.
Oh, I thought you said Fuego.
Fuego?
Yeah, it's Fago, I think.
Fago?
Yeah.
I thought it was Fuego.
That means fire in Spanish. And it's from Michigan. That's another thing from Michigan, right?
This is we're big supporters of Michigan.
Yes.
Yes, Michigan.
I mean, a lot of disputes from Michigan, too, and that was in the previous episode.
Oh, that was in the previous episode. Okay.
Michigan podcast.
Michigan podcast.
Next week.
Juggalo podcast.
We probably won't look this stupid next week, but...
No guarantees. We might not be able to get this off, and this is just our lives.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go to work like this.
I have a meeting tomorrow.
That would be so funny.
Bad. All right. Well, swap ears with you next week.
Yeah, we'll swap ears with you next week. Bye-bye. Imagine somebody walked in right now. We just beat him up. I have a fucking itch, dude.
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
I got a little bit off.
Just rub it into your eye. Yeah.
Fucking get it in there.